Everybody, and welcome back to the channel and welcome to the Ultimate Racing League. This is our Saturday multi-class race. Excuse me. It is a little bit later than scheduled, but nevertheless we're here now. We're over in Italy, just outside of Monza, just north of Milan, and we are at the Autodromo Nazionale Monza, or better known as Monza. That feels like we've been here, well, camped here for the last month. We've had that many races here, but we've got two more for you anyway. This is, as I said already, it's the multi-class. It's the GR3s, GR4s on track at the same time, so two championships running alongside each other. Only real rules: softs and mediums have to be used in each race, and that's about it really. So what we'll do is we'll run down the grid and we'll get this first race underway, shall we? So as we can see, we've got Grasshopper on pole position, we've got Derg in second, Unforgiven is third, Phaser is fourth, then we've got Smoky Tom in fifth, Pete is sixth, the Big Mac seventh, Stealth is eighth, Nath is ninth, and Smith is in 10th. Now Smith at the back, I'm not sure why he's at the back, but he's at the back in a GR3, so I'm sure it won't take him long to make his way through the pack and up amongst the leaders. So if I get the right camera set in, we'll get this race underway. We've got 3 lights on, we've got 4, we've got 5. Oh, Derg a bit keen there. But we are off and running. Phaser gets round Derg. I'm not sure quite what happened with Derg. He wanted to go and then he didn't. And then Phaser had to swerve around him, but it does look like Derg's got himself back up into 4th, Phaser in 5th as they enter the chicane for the first time. 2 proper chicanes on this, and then we've got Ascari, which is like a big chicane. We'll talk more about the track as we go round. I want to watch and see what's happening here. Smoky Tom has had a fantastic start and got himself up into 2nd. Grasshopper is Derg is putting Smoky Tom under pressure though as they come into the 2nd chicane, and Derg gets his nose in front. Smoky Tom has to drop into 3rd with Unforgiven sitting there in 4th position as they head towards turn 6 and 7. This is the Lesmo curve. It's a double right-hander. Oh, as Phaser gets himself in the gravel. Recovers though, and he's back on track in the AMG. He's got Smith for company. No, Smith manages to get by, and he takes Smoky Tom as well. Well, I'm not sure what happened to Smoky Tom. Let's just have a quick look. He just got taken by Derg at the chicane. He's in 3rd, then Unforgiven is in 4th. Well, the cameraman's not brilliant, is he? Oh, I think Smoky Tom, he just got that first turn 6 wrong. He got himself on the gravel as well, so he's now got dirty tyres. Unforgiven goes up the inside as they go into turn 7, so that's Smoky Tom down to 4th. Smith goes through as well and drops into 5th, and now he's coming under attack from Phaser as they head down towards Ascari for the first time, and it is side by side for Smoky Tom and Phaser into Ascari. One of them's going to have to give, and it looks like Phaser just backed out. Probably the right thing to do. You don't want to be going too wide there. So Phaser in 6th. Now let's just have a look at the GR4s. We've got Pete in 7th. He's got Stealth behind him in it looks like the McLaren, but Stealth has just had to serve a penalty. Then we've got Big Mac in 9th and Nath in 10th. Nath in the Porsche. I don't know why he's got his hazards on. Bit of an issue for Nath, but he's still going. Oh, he's drifting around Parabolica. Nice to see, Nath, but it won't do your tyres much good. So back up to our race leader then. Grasshopper out in front from Derg in 2nd, Unforgiven in 3rd. Smith has made his way up into 4th with Smoky Tom in 5th and Phaser 6th. No real challenges going on at the minute there. Pete excuse me, Pete leading the GR4 race at the minute by a few car lengths actually. Back to Stealth in 8th, Then we've got Big Mac in ninth in the Ferrari. And Nath down in 10th in the Porsche, as we've just seen. So everybody's spread out already. This is a 30-minute race. Must be it's a paper, they've got that many races, don't know how long each of them are. We've got two 30-minute races. So I said we'd mention the track. We are at Monza. It's 3.6 miles. There's 11 turns, and as I've already mentioned, the 3 chicanes. We've got the first one, which is probably the most notorious. It is very sharp right hand and then left hand immediately afterwards. A few seasons ago, if you remember, in the F1 race, I think it was Verstappen ended up on top of Lewis Hamilton's car at that very chicane, so not the easiest. Then you've got the Della Roggia, which is the second chicane, almost immediately afterwards. And then, as I've mentioned, we've got Variante Ascari, which is just splits up the straight heading down towards turn 11 and Parabolica. So we're just following Grasshopper now as he goes through that very first chicane, gets through there okay. Derg is getting closer. Let's come on board with Derg. So Derg going around turn 3, trying to get onto the back of Grasshopper, heading towards the second of the chicanes. As I mentioned earlier, it's called Della Roggia. Forgive my pronunciation. You can nick a little bit of them curves, but you don't want to get too on them, because they are quite raised, those sausage curves, and they will flip the car around and spin you out. But Derg and Grasshopper getting through. We can just see Unforgiven in the distance as we go through turn 7. Now it's the race down towards Ascari. Full throttle down here, looking at around the 150, 100 mark aboard to get the brake slammed on for this left and then right. Trying not to get too much of the AstroTurf. You can see it out there on the right. A race on last week, I think there was a few people come unstuck with that one, and it flips the car around. Now into Parabolica, which is turn 11, which is the final turn before getting back onto the main straight, and Derg has got a fantastic exit from there. Now he is right on the back of Grasshopper, getting in the slipstream. Can he get close enough to the Corvette to actually make a move? That slipstream is definitely helping him, but we're getting closer and closer. I don't think Derg's going to go for it. I think he's quite happy to just sit there for now, and he is. So straight through the first chicane. So Derg quite happy at the minute to just sit there behind Grasshopper. I can get out of there. Unforgiven in third in the BMW. That's all he seems to be driving these days. I bet he's sick of it. Unforgiven in the BMW on Saturdays now, Wednesdays, Sundays. The new Sunday season started yesterday, so we will be bringing you those races over the next day or two. But yeah, Unforgiven just seems to be sat in a BMW all the time now. Smith in fourth in the AMG. He's on the medium tyres. Remember, it is mediums and softs that have to be used, so different strategies will be going on. Let's just have a look at the tyres. So Grasshopper is on the soft tyres, Derg is on the soft tyres, Unforgiven is on the soft. So the front three, as you would expect, are on the soft tyres, leading by quite a bit. Smith is on the mediums, Smoky Tom also on the mediums, and Phaser on the mediums. So yeah, that sits about right, but the guys on the mediums should be able to do an extra 2 or 3 laps on those medium tyres. It may be the fuel that becomes the problem for them, but we shall see as we follow Phaser around Parabolica for the 4th time. Starting to get the hang of that Mercedes now is Phaser. The cameraman, very brave, wasn't he, standing there. Then down to the GR4s, we've got Pete in the Ferrari in 7th. He's opening up a bit of a gap now back to Stealth. He's got a good 2 or 3 seconds gap back to Stealth, and then Stealth in turn has got an even bigger gap back to the Big Mac. The Big Mac having to serve a penalty. That'll be for track limits. So the Big Mac down in 9th, serving his penalty. It's not going to alter anything. He's still going to be in 9th because Nath is quite a way back. He's just coming through Ascari now, and Nath is also carrying a penalty, unfortunately. Oh, as he gets himself all sorts of sideways through there. But Nath will keep going, and that's what we love about him. He just keeps going. So we've had a change of lead, so we missed that. Apologies. Let's just go back and see what happened there. Now it looks like Grasshopper's had quite a moment as we're coming into the chicane. He just couldn't get that Corvette slowed down enough, could he? And he's ended up cutting across the chicane, and that's allowed Derg through. And Unforgiven has also managed to get right on the back of Grasshopper now. So Grasshopper, that one mistake has put him in all sorts of trouble. Derg is trying to get his foot down and get away from these two. Grasshopper has now got some defending to do against Unforgiven. And we can just see Smith coming around the corner as well on the medium tyres. So he's getting a little bit closer to the front three now. Smoky Tom in 5th after his moment in the early couple of laps. Smoky in the Renault. And then Phaser not that far behind Smoky Tom in 6th. As for the GR4s, well, Pete he's still got quite a gap. Back to Stealth, then Big Mac, then Nath. So back up to our race leader then. Got 2-3 car lengths lead over Grasshopper at the minute. Fuel's okay for a good couple of laps. Unforgiven trying to put Grasshopper under some pressure. Let's go on board with Grasshopper. And we can see if we look behind, we've got Unforgiven bearing down on us now. I don't think Unforgiven's going to get close enough to try and put a challenge in as they approach this chicane. Let's just hope Grasshopper gets it right this time. And he does. Just nicking enough of those curbs to get through and not unsettle the car as they go through turn 3. This big sweeping right-hander up towards the second of the chicanes. And the Corvette just seems to have a little bit more in a straight line than the BMW, so that's going to be interesting. But Unforgiven definitely catching as they go through the corners. So Grasshopper through turn 6, and Unforgiven is right on top of him again up towards turn 7. We can see Derg up ahead. Now, is this where Grasshopper starts to inch away from Unforgiven as we head down towards Ascari? We've got the blue flags waving. That's not for these guys. These guys are now going to be approaching the GR4s, and you can see it is Nath as Derg goes by Nath. Unforgiven still there. He's sticking with Grasshopper. Grasshopper has still got to try and get by Nath. Trying to guess which way he's going. Nath moves over to the right, so Grasshopper goes through, Unforgiven goes through. Unfortunately, Nath carrying that usual half-second penalty above the car. Now Grasshopper went very deep into that turn. Don't think he's going to get a penalty for it. I think you can abuse that turn 11. So Grasshopper just clinging on to second then, with Unforgiven in third. Unforgiven getting closer and closer with each lap. Then we've got Smith in fourth. Now who's that's just gone over the I think it may have been Nath that went and cut across the corner, I'm not sure. But Smith in fourth. Now let's just have a look. Unforgiven, Smith. So Smith is getting a little bit closer. He is on the medium tyres, remember, but if we're looking at the fuel, Unforgiven has got about a quarter of a tank, Grasshopper even less, and Derg even less than that. So the front three really burning through the fuel. Smith just over a quarter of a tank, so he may have been fuel saving. He is on the medium tyres as well, so he may be able to get an extra lap out of this car when the front three come in for their pit stop, which will be within the next lap or two. Smoky Tom, he's on a quarter of a tank of fuel. Tyres look good for Smoky Tom in fifth. Phaser definitely going to have the fuel. He really has been giving it the beans in that AMG. He's not been fuel saving at all, has he, Phaser? And he is going to have to pit maybe at the end of this lap as well, as we go through Ascari. So Phaser down in sixth. Oh, Nath getting a bit slidey, a bit showboaty as we come out of turn 10. Well, the top two are in anyway. Derg's come into the pits. His fuel lights on. Grasshopper, same, his lights on. I think Phaser's going to have to come in as well. So Unforgiven has stayed out. So Unforgiven has taken the lead of this race. He's going to have Smith sitting behind him in second. Smith just going through the chicane now as Unforgiven starts around turn 3. And Smoky Tom in third. So the guys on the medium tyres now starting to creep up. Oh, Smoky Tom has picked up a 1 second penalty. He will not be pleased about that. Phaser in the pits, as we thought. Well, he's just on his way out now, but we thought Phaser would pit. He's left the medium tyres on and just stopped for fuel. So he's saving the softs for the second half of the race. We are just approaching 14 minutes, so 16 minutes of this race left. So Phaser's obviously saving the softs for the latter part of the race. Pete in 7. Well, Pete's come in as well. He's going to go on to the mediums now, unless he keeps the softs on. I doubt it, but he's in. Stealth has stayed out, so Stealth will take the lead in the GR4 race as Stealth goes through. You can see Pete still in the pits. Fuel starting to go in. The Big Mac. Well, Pete's going to get out of the pits before Big Mac gets... Oh, and it's Smoky Tom. What's happened to him again? Let's just go back and see what's happened. So Smoky Tom carrying a 1 second penalty. We're heading down towards Ascari. Now then, we've got a yellow flag. I'm not sure what the yellow flag is all about. We'll have a look at that in a second. And he's got himself on those on the bumps on the right hand side, and it has just pulled the car around. That was so unlucky. Now let's just have a look and see who else got it all wrong. My phone bleeping like mad. I apologise for that. Now it may have been the Big Mac. Let's just have a look. Yes, it was the Big Mac. Did he do the same thing? You want to try and avoid them rumble strips, and he's done exactly the same as Smoky Tom. He got on the rumble strips on the right hand side, which has pulled the car round to the right when he wanted to really turn left, and threw him into the kitty litter. He did the right thing though and waited, and then Smoky Tom's done exactly the same thing, and we can see him there pirouetting. So that was unlucky both for the Big Mac and Smoky Tom. As we see, Pete has come into the pits. Unforgiven, our current race leader, also into the pits. He needs fuel. Smith has stayed out, so Smith on the medium tyres and the better fuel is going to take the lead. So this is the fourth leader we've had now in this race. So Smith takes over at the top. Unforgiven in the pits. Fuel just going into Unforgiven's car. Smoky Tom. Smoky's coming into the pits as well. So where's Derg? Derg, if you remember, has already pitted along with Grasshopper. Heading down the start finish straight, just as we see Unforgiven coming out of the pit lane. Now Unforgiven's going to be third. Can Grasshopper get by Unforgiven? I don't think he can. It looks like Unforgiven has managed to hold on to third, and he has. So Unforgiven out on a fresh set of medium tyres. Grasshopper's on the medium tyres as well, but in fourth position and chasing Unforgiven. Phaser in fifth. He stopped a lap previous, so he is starting to show a bit of wear on those tyres. Smoky Tom now out. He rejoins in sixth position. He is on the soft tyres now, so a bit of catching up for Smoky Tom. Stealth, the current leader of the GR4 race, is he's going to have to pit now as well for fuel. He's probably going to get rid of them tyres as well. They're not looking too healthy, so Stealth will come in. Pete is just heading down towards turn 11. He's got the race leader Smith just behind him. Now the thing is, the GR4 cars do not have to move off of the racing line to let the GR3s through. The faster guys have to find a way around, which is what Smith's trying to do. He's going the long way round on the outside. Oh, well, that was, yeah, I don't know what to make about that. That was a bit of impatience, I think, on Smith's part. Nice move, I do like it. Let's have a look at that again, shall we? And he's trying to go around the outside of Pete. I thought he was going to stay in, and he's gone all the way round, and then he cuts Pete up. Now I'm sure Pete was getting on the popping the horn and giving him the finger there, as you would in traffic. But great move from Smith nevertheless. So anyway, Smith in the pits to take on some fuel and probably change the tyres. And as Dirk comes around turn 11 onto the start finish straight, the fuel is going in Smith's car. Dirk heading down towards the pit exit, and he gets by. Is it Unforgiven's getting by as well? Yes, he has. Unforgiven's got by, and Grasshopper, they've all got by. So Smith rejoins in fourth. However, Smith is on the soft tyres while the guys in front are all on the mediums. So we've got a race on now for Smith to try and catch up to the back of these front three and maybe get himself on the podium. Phaser in fifth. Smoky Tom in sixth. Smoky Tom also on the soft tyres while Phaser is on the mediums. So the gap's not massive between the two of them, so if Smokey can take a deep breath, get his head back in the game, he may be able to catch up with Phaser. Peter's retaking the lead in the GR4 race. He's out on the medium tyres and in seventh. Stealth is in eighth, also on a fresh set of mediums and a full tank of fuel, so Stealth can make it to the end of this race as well. No more stops for him. Same with the Big Mac. Big Mac in ninth, with Nath in 10th, and Big Mac and Nath having a bit of a fight. We finally found a battle, and somebody's rearranged all the bollards there at that chicane. We missed that, but let's just stick with these two for now. As Nath, let's go on board with Nath as we chase down the Big Mac as we go into turn 7. Ooh, Nath getting it a bit wrong, just too much of the grass. And he's picked a penalty up, but I'm sure he's used to them. He must have had about 5 minutes worth of penalties this race already. Down towards Ascari on the brakes, around the left-hander, maybe braking a little bit earlier would have helped there. Managed to keep it going. Oh yes, well done. Serves the penalty and back on the power. Nathan's definitely going to have to pit. Fuel light flashing away there. So we will go back up to our race leader Dirk on the medium tyres. Enough fuel, definitely enough fuel I would suggest to get to the end of this race. Unforgiven in second, Grasshopper third, and then the race is on for Smith with the soft tyres. to get himself on the podium. And I think if anybody can do it, Smith can. He's already staring at the back of Grasshopper as we go down towards Ascari. We're on board with Smith at the minute. He's got nothing to worry about behind, so no defending to do. He can just concentrate on attacking. And at the minute it's Grasshopper that he's got his eye on, and he's definitely getting closer and closer. In fact, what we'll do is we will stay on board with Smith as we do a full lap. So we go around turn 11. We are now on to the start finish straight, just approaching the start finish line, about where that bridge is. And we are now on lap 12, down towards the first chicane, turn 1, a very sharp right-hander on the brakes. Real hard to get that car slowed down a right and then a flick it to the left. And Smith now right on the back of Grasshopper and in the slipstream as they enter turn 3. Long sweeping right-hander, Biasmo. Up towards turns 4 and 5, the De La Roggia chicane. Again, you can take a little bit of those curves, but you don't want to get too much. They are raised a lot higher than they should be, but then again, I suppose it does stop you cutting the corners. And Smith now right on the back of Grasshopper. They've got a back marker in front of them, which is going to be tricky. Grasshopper's getting held up. Pete pulls over so that Grasshopper and Smith can go through, but that did hold them up a little bit. Now then, Smith in the slipstream again, down towards Ascari, under the bridge, looking for the brake marker on the right hand side. Don't get on those rumble strips, as we've seen Smoky Tom do and Big Mac earlier, but Smith and Grasshopper both get through. Now we'll see what the Mercedes has got against that Corvette as we head down towards Parabolica. Another sweeping right-hander, and then on to the start-finish straight again. Now you need a great exit from here if you want to get in the slipstream of the guy in front. Oh, and Smith has gone so wide. He's not really lost a lot of ground on Grasshopper, but it certainly didn't want that. He needed to be a lot closer to Grasshopper than that if he was going to make a move. And he does have a quick look up the inside. I think that was just a bit of a cheeky look up the inside. Not sure what the yellow flag was for. It was probably for Nath as they approached. So let's just go from the top then. Derg still out in front. Still got Unforgiven sitting there in second. Grasshopper is third. Nath is in there, but Nath is in 10th, so these guys are just trying to get by him, and I think Grasshopper and Smith may get caught up with Nath at turn 6 and 7. Now who's that with the penalty? It's Smith. Smith has picked up a big penalty. Let's just have a look where he got that. Now I think it may have been at the chicane. He may have cut too much of it. He really is pushing hard to try and get that place away from Grasshopper, so let's have a look. Well, I'm not sure actually. I didn't think he took that much, but the game obviously said he did, as they both managed to get by Nath at turn 6. I didn't think Smith took that much too many liberties with those track limits there, but the game said he did, and he's got a 1 second penalty for it. Much to the relief of Grasshopper, I'm sure, as they head down towards Varanti Ascari, and you can see the penalty bar starting to fill up above Smith's car, so he'll have to serve that penalty, which will allow Grasshopper to just pull away a little bit, give himself a bit of a breather. And there we go, brakes are slammed on, so yeah, that's give Grasshopper at least 2 car lengths and a bit of a breather for a minute. Smoky Tom in 5th. He's managed to get by Fazer, we thought he would. although the tyres are starting to wear. We've got about 5.5 minutes of this first race left. I don't think that no, Smoky Tom isn't going to get onto the back of Smith, but he's going to hold on to 5th, Fazer in 6th, Pete in 7th, leading the GR4 charge, and he's got quite a decent gap as well. Stealth in 8th. The blue flag's being waved. That's only because the GR3s are coming through, as we see Fazer diving into the pits there just behind Stealth. Then we've got Big Mac in 9th and Nath in 10th. Bit of a lonely race for the guys at the back. It's only when the GR3 guys come up to lap them that they see another car at the minute. Oh, now Unforgiven has took the lead. Well, we missed that one, didn't we? Let's just go back and see if I can find where that is. Blimey, that was a long way away, weren't it? Oh, it's Dirks picked up a penalty, that's why. So Dirks picked a penalty up for track limits, I can only assume, at the second of the chicanes at Della Rosia. So Dirk serves his penalty and Unforgiven goes through. So we will skip forward again. So Unforgiven then, let's see what the tyre situation is. So Unforgiven on the medium tyres, nowhere at all. He's got more than enough to get him to the end of the race. Same with the fuel. So Unforgiven in the usual BMW, out in front and looking comfortable. Dirk in 2nd. Oh, somebody picked a penalty. Oh, it's Smith, he's got another penalty. Grasshopper in 3rd. Smith, he's really pushing hard, isn't he, to try and get on the podium, and he's picked himself another penalty up. Now, them medium tyres are around about 40% wear on the left. I've said it many times, when you've got a clockwise track, it is the left-hand tyres that do take the punishment. And you can see that very clearly on Smith's car, that it is the front left and rear left that's taking the beating, as he's going to serve that half-second penalty. It's not a massive penalty, but it's enough just to let the car in front gain an extra car length, as we see Grasshopper and Dirk fighting now. So Dirk in 2nd, but he is coming under a lot of pressure from Grasshopper. Grasshopper right on the bumper of Dirk's Mercedes as they head down towards the first chicane, turns 1. We've got about 3.5 minutes, just over 3.5 minutes left of this race. So can Dirk hold on to 2nd? We've got Big Mac in the way now. Dirk's got by, Grasshopper's got by. Smith with another penalty as well. So Smith's all of Smith's efforts are being undone with these penalties. He's got so close to Grasshopper. He is going to go by. Not that it really matters, because Grasshopper, all he's got to do is stay with him. If Grasshopper can just stay with Smith, he'll retake that 3rd podium spot. So I'm sure Grasshopper is not too concerned at the minute. The fact that he's dropped down to 4th. Dirk in front with a half-second penalty as well. So we're just going to keep an eye on this, because Grasshopper, he should be able to take that 3rd spot away from Smith, and it's also going to put him a lot closer to Dirk as well. So Unforgiven out in front, he's not really being challenged at the minute. Dirk's going to serve his penalty. Smith will have to serve his penalty. So Grasshopper, let's go on board with Grasshopper. Or does he let the guys get? He's let the guys get too far in front. Well, we're not sure what happened to Grasshopper, but he let the guys in front get too far away. So the penalties, I thought the penalties were going to help Grasshopper out, but something's happened, and he's let the guys in front get away. Now Dirk has come into the pits. Oh, he's running out of fuel. Dirk doesn't think he's got enough for the last lap. So we'll go up to our race leader, Unforgiven. out in front and looking very comfortable. Smith now has moved up into second with Grasshopper third, because Derg has come into the pits. He's now on his way out. He's going to try and get out there ahead of Smoky Tom, which he does. So Derg now drops to fourth, Smoky Tom is fifth, Fazer is sixth, Pete in seventh. It looks like Pete has got the race in the GR4s pretty much sewn up. Stealth in eighth, with the Big Mac in ninth, and 10th is Nath. And as I said earlier, it's a pretty lonely race for the GR4 guys, really. So back up to our race leader, coming into Ascari for the last time. Well, I say it could be the last time. He may even get another lap in, which I'm sure he doesn't want, because the fuel light is now flashing. So Unforgiven really needs to keep an eye on the time and keep an eye on the fuel. Is he going to slow down? Is he going to go for it? Has he got enough fuel to make it through another lap? We've got 30 seconds and he's just coming around Parabolica now, so he will cross the line before the time's up. Or maybe he's just hoping that Smith will finish the race first in second position, and even if Unforgiven does run out of fuel, it's not going to matter. But no, Smith is going to get another lap in as well. Grasshopper then could be the first to finish. Maybe he's going to slow down and let the clock run out. I think he is. I think he's just trying to roll himself. He has, yeah. So Grasshopper doesn't fancy another lap and finishes third. So well done to him. Derg is going to cross the line in fourth. So well done to Derg. In fourth, Smoky Tom, he's going to come across in fifth. Fazer sixth. He's just serving a penalty. That won't affect anything, or it won't affect anything on track, his track position. So Fazer is going to come in sixth as we go around Parabolica. Peter has just crossed the line. Let me just go back so we can see Peter cross the line, because Peter has won the GR4 race. So he is the first of the GR4 cars to cross the line. So well done to Pete. Is that how you say it? Pete. So Peter crossed the line then to take the win in the GR4s. The Big Mac has already crossed the line. Fazer we saw is going to take sixth. Stealth is going to take eighth. And I'm just trying to see where the other guys are. So Stealth is going to cross the line in eighth. So well done to Stealth. Nath is going to come across in 10th. Oops, go the right way and we'll get there. So Nath across the line then in 10th position. Then up to our race leaders. We have Unforgiven, who is running on fumes at the minute. Smith also running on fumes. I don't think Smith is going to be challenging Unforgiven. They're both having to watch the fuel. And if they calculated that well done to them. And I think Unforgiven is out now. So Unforgiven will pretty much roll across the line. Smith also out of fuel but comes across in second. So well done to those two guys. We will be back very shortly for race 2 here at Monza, so please join me for that.